Welcome to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host. Right now, I'm sitting in the tour van of a guy called Grieves. Could you say hi, please?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Well, I'm doing great, thanks. This tour van is super large and well decorated. Could you pick out your favorite decoration and talk about it?
It's definitely going to be Master Splinter, who's hanging upside down from the rearview mirror. He was given as a gift to us in San Francisco, and Master Splinter had nunchucks that were made out of two joints. And we actually drove from San Francisco to Vancouver, and we almost didn't get into Vancouver because of Master Splinter. And this was in 2010. But we were able to smooth talk our way across the border and get rid of his nunchucks, and he lives on the dash.
What's one tip for smooth talking across the border?
You know what I think I figured out this time was when you go with your tour manager, let him do all the talking, and then you act completely retarded to what is happening, and you just sit in the chair and make jokes and act like nothing is actually going on. And if they don't want to let your tour manager in, they're going to want to let him in even more when they realize that you guys are completely helpless without him, and it makes it way more relaxed. Hey, what's up? This is Grieves from Rhymesayers Entertainment, and you are listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Born blind in the winter with an empty head. The snow covered up the Camry, the whole house slept. Drawing pictures in the bed, waking up and racing down the stairs, trying to catch my breath was so simple. Superman, trick or treat, wet socks, bike rides in the summer to the best spots. Could've sworn I was king of the best odds, running around with the dogs in the backyard. Growing, never knowing what the past done, living life like the mystery of packed lunch. Getting whooped in the playground, scratched up, coming home after school on the last bus. Back then it was all about laughs, at the corner store for the new Fleer packs. Mine was a religion and happiness was a fact. It's a shame how the time goes past, moving so fast. It's like I'm moving at light speed. Slow down. You need to slow down every once in a while sometimes, to see how the world goes round. You need to slow down every once in a while, 'cause you don't know, you don't need to go so fast. Things changed in the pop shop, got an offer. Packed up, moved out down to Colorado. Sunshine, clean air, not a lot of problems. And that's when I discovered Pogs and Tamagotchi. Time passed and the friends found punk, yeah. Or whatever, man, a lot of it was junk, but we loved it. Made us feel cool, little dumb kids. Running around just for fun, doing dumb shit. I was lighting all my candles at both ends. Roaring late, getting drunk with the friends. I was trying to stay positive, even though I pretended it helped. 'Cause at home I was lacking a happy ending for all. Saw a lot of tall trees fall in the name of an addiction. My sister taught me to follow. I cracked, cleaned up and got the bags packed, and swore that I would never go back. Moving so fast. It's like I'm moving at light speed. Slow down. You need to slow down every once in a while sometimes, to see how the world goes round. You need to slow down every once in a while, 'cause you don't know, you don't need to go so fast. 19, I decided I was done with it. Hit Seattle with a head full of drum rhythms, falling in and out of love with these young women, thinking they could make a change of the blood given. Nah, I was too young to face it. Working 2 jobs, still thinking I could make it. Local all-star, still singing from his basement. Finally got a shot and I've been working every day since. Found love in the city where the angels fly. Put a record out with Joshua and made our climb. Came home after 2 years playing our rhymes, just to find my little angel was no more mine. Parted ways with a friend, it was not easy. Made a leap to the future and got queasy. Started working on the things that had lost reason. Now I'm sitting with a pad, moving so fast. It's like I'm moving at light speed. Slow down. You need to slow down every once in a while sometimes, to see how the world goes round. You need to slow down every once in a while, 'cause you don't know, you don't to go so fast.
Hey, what's up? This is Grieves from Rhymesayers Entertainment, and you are listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Welcome to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You've just heard Lightspeed from the record Together Apart by Grieves. I've got Grieves here. We're in his tour van. I'd love it if you could talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, Lightspeed is a classic growing up, coming of age, almost like biography piece. It's when the record was done, Together Apart was done. I had that beat. I was listening to everything on the record, and I felt like I needed a song that tied everything together because it was my debut record on Rhymesayers Entertainment. So why not go through growing up, you know? And so that song is growing up in my eyes, the way that I see it.
So I've read that you've had kind of a rough year. Could you tell the listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's been a rough year. So I've been working like a dog for pretty much my whole entire career, and we finally got to the point where, you know, let's take this money that we've made and we've been saving and let's try to, you know, use it to better everything that we're doing. So we got a workspace. We were going to put offices in there for Colin and Matt, my manager type fellows, and I was building a studio in there, which was awesome. For me, it would be, I've been doing home studio stuff for my whole life and then going into, you know, bigger studios to finish it for the record. But this was a chance to like have my own recording studio. And so it was a big deal. And, you know, my manager moved out from Chicago. My tour manager moved out from Colorado. You know, people are uprooting their families, and here we are. And we start building this thing, and all of a sudden it catches on fire in the middle of the night from a chemical that spontaneously combusted, and that never happens. Like, that is on some like 1 million to 1 that something is going to spontaneously combust in the place of your dreams. But that happened, and it burnt. It burnt a lot of stuff, and the smoke ruined everything, so they had to tear it all down. Yeah, it was a huge hit to the heart, the head, the bank account, and the morale, I'd say, of everything. And then we just kind of went right out on the road, and the van broke down twice, and then the second time it broke down, we had to leave it in Myrtle Beach, and then we went through 5 vehicles on that tour, amongst getting like booed off stage and random stuff. But it was a good learning experience because it made us tougher, and it humbled us a little bit. But it definitely wasn't exactly what I needed after the studio burning down.
You've said that you actually contemplated quitting rapping. Is that true?
Well, when that happened, and I was watching firemen take axes to what felt like my life work, and like seeing everything covered in water and soot and ashes, and like, I was just like, well, that didn't work out for me at all. But at the same time, you have to look at, you know, everyone else that has given so much into me and so much faith. That would be the most selfish and stupid thing. And I wouldn't even quit making music. I would just like stop trying to do it professionally. But that's not allowed to happen.
So what's one tip for somebody who goes through something like that to get through it?
Vino Verde. It's a Spanish wine with a slight sparkle to it, and it really takes the edge off of a structural fire, I'd say. Hey, what's up? This is Grieves from Rhymesayers Entertainment, and you are listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Back against the bottom. There's something about these days that got you caught up. Toss another empty bottle to the bay. What did you say? What did you do when life came crashing down on you? I should have seen it when you broke down. Stop and listen, and stop acting like you don't have a position. Cause I could see it from the jump when I kissed you, and feel it through the walls that you constantly put your fist through. You're pissed, but you ain't gotta fight like this. Life isn't worth a dime with a knife sliced wrist. Spend a whole bunch of time trying to write your list of the last things allowed to make you bite your lip. Yeah, little girl, little love, little hold my head to the ground in the mud. Little I'm not coming back up till the whole sky falls down on top of me and breaks my trust. Now run and think about it all. Think about the last chance given in the first round fall. And if that can't get you back to where you start, just call and meet me in the place where we always are. Tell me you're back against the bottom. There's something about these days that got you caught up. Toss another empty bottle into the bay. What did you say? What did you do when life came crashing down on you? I should have seen it when I came back. Yup, I should have. Cause you don't see the things that I really wish that you would have. No, you don't make the effort I really thought that you could have. To unlock the cage where you put us and take another stab at it. Fly fishing for the catch with my heart tied on to the only line that you cast. And if I don't sink this rap right now, I'ma float down the river till my last breath gasp. Yeah, little lock, little key, little drop my boxes of thoughts into the sea. Little I'm not coming back out till the whole world stops in its tracks and admits its defeat for good. Back to the shackles, back to the comfort of the things that attack you and make you cold. I'm over trying to make this home, so just go and leave me in the place that we'll always know. Tell me you're back against the bottom. There's something about these days that got you caught up. Toss another empty bottle into the bay. What did you say? What did you do when life came crashing down on you?
Hey, what's up? This is Grieves from Rhymesayers Entertainment, and you are listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Welcome to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Against the Bottom off a record called Together Apart by Grieves. I'm sitting here in his tour van with him. I'd love it if you could talk a bit about this track.
That's an interesting track. It wasn't a song that I thought people were going to gravitate to. Because when I first made it, I was kind of like self-conscious of it because it has this like bubbly feel to it. But the song is kind of sad. The song was pretty much me coming home to an empty house I wasn't expecting to be empty and going through all those emotions and actually coping with the fact that you and somebody else aren't what you thought you were to each other. But being able to take yourself away from this dark place that you're locking yourself inside of and actually see the positive side of that, because no one wants to be attached to somebody that they can't grow with. There's kind of a lot going on in that song there. It took me a while to be comfortable with it, but now that's actually one of my favorite songs to do live because it's got a real fun like soul jazz feel to it when we do it, and it's nice.
All right, Grieves, you're a confessional style rapper. How does one talk about their feelings without sounding too whiny?
I believe that I've been called whiny quite a bit by people. I don't know. I don't really think about it. I just start writing. Like it feels a certain way, and that's what it is. It feels a certain way. It smells a certain way, and it just happens.
So there's no kind of quality control when you're recording?
No, there's quality control afterwards. Like where you're like, hey, that song about not being able to get a boner is probably not gonna make your record. But when I'm in the studio, I just want to do all those things. So let's do this, let's do that. For this new record that we're putting out, I have 40 odd some songs recorded, and 14 songs are going on the record. So it's how you chop them up, how you want the record to feel, and then you have those I Can't Get a Boner songs for like Valentine's Day or something when you want to put out free songs for people. So that's always nice too. I feel like everything that you make can be used for something. Doesn't mean it's going to make a record. Maybe someday you'll be stumbling along and you'll be like, oh, I actually really like that verse. I'm going to take that verse, I'm going to do this over a different beat. Or you're like, oh, I really like this beat. I wish I wasn't talking about boners on it. I'm going to scrap all the boner talk and rap about flowers over it.
Nice, nice. Many rappers say that it takes a few years to get good. Looking back at your career, at what point do you think you got pretty decent?
You should ask me that question in like 5 years. I don't know, man. It was like, I feel that moment when you stopped questioning yourself in the studio was a moment for me. And when I found my voice was a moment too. And a lot of people don't understand, like a lot of people just grab a microphone and start rapping what they wrote down on paper, and it's like, you sound shaky, you sound thin, like you didn't take the time to learn like what kind of compression sounds good on your voice. Like, where's the bad parts of your voice? Like, can you EQ them out? Do you want to start working on that? Like, do you want to take vocal training? Like, there's all sorts of things that rappers can do that they don't do. And I feel like finding those things out was also a huge thing for me. And I'm not saying that I have the best voice or that I don't sound thin or shaky in some parts, but I'm aware of it. So that's a start sometimes. But I feel like, you know, you hear someone that brings that confidence as well to the microphone or to the studio in general, and chances are you're going to listen to that record over someone that doesn't have that confidence.
All right, so Grieves, I would love you to think back to your earlier records and choose an older track for me to play.
Man, my favorite of my old ones would be a song called Irreversible. I love that song. It's the title track off the record. It's a really good introduction to the record, and it means a lot. Hey, what's up? This is Grieves from Rhymesayers Entertainment, and you are listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Just an old-fashioned love
I remember being too young to spell it, but old enough to know that when his fingers touched the keys it lit something up in his soul. But at 4 years old, it's hard to notice the power, but I sat under that piano for hours learning the sound of it. You heard an old man's noise, I heard every tear that he wept and every crack in his voice, heard every fear that he kept and every passionate joy as he scrambled across the keys and I played with my toys. And I saw the power that projected from that living room. That man lost his family and everything that he ever knew. He played the piano like it saved him from the hell he flew, running from the pain that awaited from being raised a Jew. Some people paint with their music, stimulate your senses, enabling you to view it. But those notes raised me and trained me to take a tune with me everywhere that I go, making my home where the music speaks.
You swear you've heard it before as it slowly rambles on and on. No need in bringing them back cause they've never really gone. When the lights are low,
I can still hear the music this old box used to play. And I am what I am cause of you, and they can't take that away.
when the lights are low,
I can still hear the music this old box used to play. And the man that I am's cause of you, and they can't take that away.
just an old-fashioned love song.
Saturday morning, waking up yawning, smelling mom's cooking, and I couldn't stop looking at the TV. Feature double feature, Godzilla vs. Rodan and King Ghidorah. I gotta watch, but here's Pops with a bag of 45 records. He had handpicked and carefully selected. Cat Benatar rocked the Casbah Clash. Damn, I wanna see what else he's got in his stash. REO Speedwagon, now it's time for Jackson. Michael, when he dropped Thriller, we went psycho. Dancing like our living room's a club, then I fell in love. Thoughts of performing years later, now I'm touring, traveling the globe, and my music's my home. I pray she never leave me alone. I be lost in the zone. Deep sentiments I sent in my fashion. Thank you for enriching my life, my true passion.
You swear you've heard it before as it slowly rambles on and on. No need in bringing them back cause they've never really gone. When the lights are low,
I can still hear the music this old box used to play. And I am what I am cause of you, and they can't take that away.
when the lights are low,
I can still hear the music this old box used to play. And the man that I am's cause of you, and they can't take that away.
just an old-fashioned love. When the lights
What you taught me is irreversible. It's irreversible. The things you taught me is irreversible. It's irreversible. What you taught me is irreversible. It's irreversible. The things you taught me are irreversible. It's irreversible. I can still hear the music this old box used to play. And I am what I am because of you, and they can't take that away. I can still hear the music this old box used to play.
Hey, what's up? This is Grieves from Rhymesayers Entertainment, and you are listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Welcome back to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Irreversible off Irreversible, the first record put out by Grieves. I've got Grieves here in his tour van, and I'd love him to talk a bit about this one.
Man, my favorite of my old ones would be a song called Irreversible. It's a song with an artist that was a huge influence to me. His name is Mr. Liff, and the song is about the people that influenced us to be the people that we are musically. So my song's about my grandfather, who is a great pianist and fled Germany during the Holocaust to come here to the United States. His is about his father coming home with records and, sitting there and listening to those records and just dancing crazy in the living room and having a good time. How that stuff sticks with you. I love that song. It's the title track off the record. It's a really good introduction to the record, and it means a lot.
Grieves, I read that you have a stockpile of gangster beats and that you want to give them to a gangster rapper. Is that true?
I got some gangster beats, like some West Coast, 1996 gangster beats that I don't think anybody wants to rap on. But Tupac, if you come back alive somehow, I got some beats for you. If the Booyah Tribe somehow hears this, I will produce the new Booyah Tribe record. You guys probably won't like me at all, but I would produce that record for you anytime. It's gangster rap. I can say fuck, right? You might need to bleep me out there.
Given that you're such an accomplished performer, what's it like to think about or write beats for other performers?
That's actually a fun part, because when I start writing music for myself, I start to think oh, I can't hit that note, or I can't do that, or this is weird. When I'm doing something for somebody else, I can just kind of let all those ideas out and then let them pick which ones they don't like. So I can just stack everything up, just boom, 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 boom. They'd be like, oh, I don't like that. Well, you cut it out. Or I wish it was more like this. Okay, well, I'll play it more like this. It's less me and more them. So it's just kind of the direction helps. I wish I could do that to myself. When I'm doing it for myself, it's this weird battle, but when it's with someone else, it's so much easier.
All right, Grieves, at the end of the show, I like the artist to pick one of their tracks, and I play it. But before I play it, I get them to say a few things about it.
Well, I'm going to go off on a limb here. A song that means a lot to me, I don't know, I don't think it gets a lot of radio play or anything like that, but it'd be the song Tragic with Brother Ali. When I was making that record, I was kind of going through all that stuff, and it was right when I signed with Rhymesayers, and I was going through hell with my previous situation before Rhymesayers, and they flew me out to Copenhagen.
Because we haven't talked about it, you have to explain for people who don't know what Rhymesayers is.
Oh, okay. Rhymesayers is the record label that I signed to back in 2009, 2010. They're my family. That's everything to me. So when I first inked that contract, they sent me overseas to go on tour with Brother Ali, and I grew up listening to Brother Ali. I grew up listening to all those dudes on Rhymesayers. So here I am in a foreign country where my idols are pretty much my peers, and he's kind of grilling me down and getting to know me. I just always felt like I could be honest with him. He's always been somebody that I could call up and be like, man, I'm just not feeling this right now. And he's always been someone that will give me this straight answer, not to tell me what I want to hear, but the straight answer on things. We started talking about doing this song, and the beat was actually made when we were on that tour in a van when we were driving through Norway. We were driving up this crazy Lord of the Rings looking mountain, and we drove the wrong way. So by the time we got to the end of the road, it was a cross-country skiing trail, and the van was sliding all over the road, and he was calling his family and telling them that he loved them, and Budo's in the back making this little beat. So the beat seemed perfect for it. The subject matter is kind of chasing the blues. Rhymesayers went through the loss of one of their artists, and it was just it felt like a really good time to confront that, not the loss but the blues. That song turned out really well, and add all that other stuff to it, you know, the importance of that artist and just kind of all that together, it just, I don't know, I love that song.
You might want to tell people who that artist was.
The passing was Idea. He was an artist on our label.
All right, so we're going to listen to Tragic by Grieves featuring Brother Ali. This is The Interview Show. Thanks for being on it.
Yeah, man, thank you. Hey, what's up? This is Grieves from Rhymesayers Entertainment, and you are listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
They say that lightning never strikes twice in the same spot when it's landed. You ought to see the thundercloud I'm trapped in. Head down looking for a tactic. Trying to find a way about the gravity around me I'm attached to, stuck. Floating on luck like a river raft was. Spitting up love like a tip of cack. If in fact there's a quicker path to diminish that, I'ma get a first class ticket just to finish last. Often, who's watching? Chipping up the crooked ass tooth on my options. The blues never had a use for its caution. It cut right through me like a razor blade. Harsh wind. Yeah, I guess I'm living off a habit and digging up graves just to reseal the casket. Bold-faced marching to the middle of the havoc just so I can sing a song about it all. Tragic.
You act like this can save me. Hey, hey, hey. You act like I don't know. You don't know. I act like I've gone crazy. That all of this can save me, but I don't really know.
I don't know no more, my brother. Me and my blue sensitivities. Look at all that this music is giving me. Intimately in tune with my misery. I can spin bad news to a symphony. I ain't a boy in a bubble, I'm a man in touch with my joy and my trouble. Got a fighting chance at love in this ugliness. I think hope deserves to know what she's up against. Blues are 12s, I write 24s. Life twice as hard, fighting with the cards. Those chosen the moment we were born. Highs and lows, joys and woes that are yours. Chase the blues and one day you gon' catch them. Sing them all you want, you gon' wish you never met them. Humming the ballad of the paper thin jacket. Trapped in the rain again. Tragic.
You act like this can save me. Hey, hey, hey. You act like I don't know. You don't know. I act like I've gone crazy. That all of this can save me, but I don't really know.
I don't know what the deal is, but lately I've been looking through a thick glass, squinting just to see the smidgen of the kickbacks. My little ticker only flickers with a mishap and lashes out at me every time that I admit that. Look at what I did with the ashes, smoking in the boys' room, ditching out of classes. Handful of shattered stained glass with a grass tight around it just enough to make a couple wounds last as scars. Metals, rose, petals, scattered on the path like it's Hansel and Gretel. Burned from the water, I splash from the kettle in efforts to make a documentation of what I went through hell. I guess I'm playing from the attic, pulling up the floorboards, digging up the hatchet. Firm-footed, standing in the middle of the static just so I can sing a song about it all. Tragic.
You act like this can save me. Hey, hey, hey. You act like I don't know. You don't know. I act like I've gone crazy. That all of this can save me, but I don't really know.